really easily. All you do is like hover.
Good morning, everybody. As we gather here today, it is important to acknowledge that this day is far from ordinary. It is a day that symbolizes not only the struggles we've endured as both a class and community, but just how far we've actually come. We are living proof that perseverance is possible. And it's important to acknowledge that much of our inspiration for perseverance comes from many of the lovely faces that surround us in the audience. To all the moms, pops, meemaws, papas, siblings, and even friends in the audience, we want to thank you for being here for us, not only today, but for supporting us over the past 4 years. This is a moment that we as students have dreamt about ever since we were young. And to walk across this courtyard with our diploma in hand is truly a privilege and a blessing. In this moment, we reflect on how what we thought was just going to be a 2-week vacation in March has somehow changed our lives forever. In this moment, we celebrate the bonds and friendships that we've created. We celebrate our teachers, staff, and parents who have been our backbone. We celebrate our future, as well as the accomplishments that are to come with it. We are grateful to have completed one chapter and are excited to now write another. And most importantly, we celebrate not just learning for school, but for life. Thank you.
A glorious day. And good morning on behalf of the faculty and staff and trustees. I welcome you all to Hathaway Brown's 146th commencement exercises. Thank you, Desi, for your grace-filled invocation and for beginning this momentous day. In some ways, a repeat performance from the fall. Graduation is a sister act of sorts. We have our sisters by our side. And Sister Act, both the story and the HB production, celebrates lifting people up and inclusivity, as we do here in our sacred graduation courtyard. Since 1876, we've been steadfast in our devotion to our mission of educating and empowering girls to learn not just for school, but for life, as Desi said. And today we salute the members of the class of 2022. We are so excited to celebrate these 88 HB Trailblazers who we launch into the world today, symbolically joining that long procession of alumni who've come before them, 4,000 strong, quite a worldwide network. This year has raced by faster than a carnival race car. When I think of the journey these scholars and leaders have been on in the last few years, I'm even more confident that our future is in good hands. This class has consistently demonstrated resilience and curiosity, grace and generosity, rising boldly and optimistically to every challenge. They have appreciated in-person school perhaps like no other class before them, and thus embracing opportunities in all form at Hathaway Brown. They are award-winning researchers, global-minded environmentalists, debaters, mock trial lawyers, change agents, builders, writers, artists, poets, athletes, dancers, musicians, trusted caregivers, equestrians, programmers, filmmakers, robotic engineers, and so much more. This class has been honored with awards in many disciplines by local, state, national, and even international organizations. They presented and placed at the national professional conferences and prestigious programs such as Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair, the Ohio Junior Science and Humanities Symposium, and the Intel International Science and Engineering Fair. From setting state records in athletics to scholastic art and writing awards, these girls excelled. 21 seniors were Stranad Fellows, pursuing passions such as arts, coaching, entrepreneurship, cooking, arcade game design, advocacy initiatives, exchange programs, and yes, even a wildlife conservation musical, just to name a few. 6 are National Merit finalists, 7 National Merit Commended Scholars, 6 are Melvin Scholars, and 1 is a Presidential Scholar semifinalist. 46 of these students here played 1 or more sport during their senior year, and 8 of our scholar athletes in this class will continue to play in college in 7 different sports. This class is receiving 201 distinct graduation designations in our fellowship programs, including the Osborne Writing Center, Sustainability, Science, Research and Engineering, Business and Finance, Equity and Action, Technology and Invention, and of course, Global Citizenship, and Stranad. Their activism and compassion is equally impressive, collaborating with local voter organizations to shed light on that power and responsibility, starting their own nonprofits that celebrate girls in leadership, and further supporting Aspire by creating reading and writing programs and designating Aspire as their charitable beneficiary of the carnival. Aspire is a cause near and dear to their hearts, and their generosity has helped us endow this amazing program to serve girls in Cleveland in perpetuity. This class has a lot to say, and we love that. Just a week ago, they unveiled Retrospect, the annual student literary journal. The magazine is full of emotion and passion, depth and diverse opinions, just like the students who created it. And beyond that magazine, they have produced and published moving works of poetry and painting, playwriting, webcomics, graphic novels, prose, songs, and yes, an entire musical. And they experience perhaps what no other class in the history of Hathaway Brown has experienced. Freshman year was, quote, somewhat normal looking, but sophomore year was truncated due to the pandemic. Junior year was construction, distance learning Mondays, surveillance COVID testing and owls. And senior year, well, masks, a new normal, and of course, intense parking woes. Any orange cones out there? They always have had a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C, and approach things with flexibility and optimism, staying in and appreciating the precious moments. Example, the first day of school, convocation, which started outside, then went into the gym, then a walk around the front circle, where we all witnessed a double rainbow. Instead of traveling across the world during their breaks, these fine women looked at ways to bring the world to them, hosting authors in our courtyard and speakers from specialties such as China and other countries. They even used our outdoor spaces in the most magical ways, such as homecoming under the lights in this very spot. And yes, some in this class accompanied J-Mo on his last official docent tour of the Cleveland Art Museum. They did a senior sunrise, they played senior spies, and they went all out, all the time, as they had pledged during their senior retreat. It's worth noting that 20 members of this class are HB lifers, having started their HB careers in kindergarten or earlier. In addition, this class includes multi-generational HB families. 3 of the mothers of our graduates are HB graduates themselves, and 2 grandmothers are. And while it was just 5 girls who began our beloved alma mater 146 years ago, it is 88 girls who have defined it in a new era of education, in a new classic building, and yes, in a new world. Hathaway Brown School faculty and staff, be proud that you have launched 88 well-prepared graduates to continue their journey of learning for life. You have made Hathaway Brown memorable, taught invaluable lessons in and out of the classroom. You've laughed, you cared, you loved, and challenged. And our graduates here today will carry your hard work with them. I would like to honor our 5 retiring faculty and staff members here today and ask them to stand. We have Ron and Shelby Ackroyd, Bernice Boyle, Leslie Coleman, and Jamie Morse. This outstanding group represents 111 years of HB wisdom and knowledge, and they have seen hundreds of women graduate from these halls. They've modeled learning for life and leading a life of high moral character. And on behalf of the HB community, I thank you for creating unbounded possibilities for our students and showing us how excellence and innovation are passionately connected. To the parents, thank you for your partnership and support. Over the course of your daughter's HB career, you've enjoyed concerts and plays and musicals, athletic contests, presentations. You've helped with homework, edited essays, listened on Zoom classes, attended webinars, brainstormed projects, and supported your student at every kind of event under the sun. You found parking, you navigated construction, and trusted us when you couldn't come in the building. Your words of encouragement helped to propel these fine graduates towards their ambitious goals. We are grateful, and of course, you should be very proud. And a special thanks to our grandparents. You are a most important part of our school family. You inspire, and your unconditional love helps our students persevere and appreciate the gift of family. I'd also like to thank the Board of Trustees for their dedication to the school and careful stewardship of our resources that enable us to inspire HB trailblazers who will make their own indelible and lasting mark. No doubt we know the class of 2022 will continue to make a difference in the world on 64 different college campuses all over the country and as far away as England. They will be represented in the Ivy League and in great business schools, art schools, medical programs, and much more. They have earned over $8 million in merit scholarships, a testament to their work ethic and creativity. In fact, one of the panes of our glass atrium ceiling here at HB cracked this fall, perhaps symbolically that crack happened that this class was here, a sign they will continue to shatter glass ceilings of all sorts in their future. We will miss them here a lot because of their energy, their ambition, and spirit, but most of all because they're just plain fun to be around. In fact, at the beginning of the school year, this class came together and kicked things off with an impromptu dance party at their retreat. It was clear to all who watched the fun, this class is about joy. From Sister Act to race car for carnivals, parking pranks, and always sharing a wide variety of talents, these girls have an exuberance that even a pandemic couldn't stifle. They embody sisterhood in action, and they bring out the best in one another. As I wrap up my remarks to you, very special graduates, I have 3 wishes. 1, continue to be curious and kind. You are known for your kindness. 2, blaze trails and champion sisters wherever you go. And 3, of course, never, ever take for granted a really good parking place. Thank you to each of you for leaving us better than you found us. Go blaze trails and build the future proudly. And now it is my privilege and honor to introduce our graduation speaker, Kyle Dreyfus-Wells. HB's mission includes a passion for public service to rise boldly to our challenge of our times, and to be a force for the common good beyond our campus. And certainly, Kyle Dreyfus Wells embraces all three of these anchoring tenets as the Chief Executive Officer of the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. Historian Pliny the Elder, a Roman, touted the aqueducts of Rome as a marvel that was unsurpassed. He said, quote, "If we only take into consideration the abundant supply of water to the public for baths, ponds, canals, household purposes, gardens, places in the suburbs, and country houses, and then reflect upon the distances that are traversed, the arches that have been constructed, and the mountains that have been pierced, and the valleys that have been leveled, we must of necessity admit that there is nothing to be found more worthy of our admiration throughout the whole universe." And instead of Rome, Kyle Dreyfus Wells embraces these same challenges here in Cleveland. A visionary leader in the Cleveland community, she stewards a system that cleans tens of billions of gallons of water every year, reducing pollution, improving water quality, and sustaining and enhancing our life every day. Prior to her current position, Kyle served as Deputy Director of the district's watershed program, including the regional stormwater management program and the application of stormwater controls to reduce overflows throughout our green infrastructure. Ms. Dreyfus Wells graduated summa cum laude from The Ohio State University with a Bachelor of Science in Biology, and then she earned a master's degree with honors in Public Affairs and Environmental Science at Indiana University School of Public and Environmental Affairs. Welcome, Kyle Dreyfus.
Good morning, everyone. How we doing? All right. So thank you so much for having me today. Congratulations to the graduates and to all the family, friends, teachers, and school employees who brought us here today. I'm Kyle Dreyfus Wells, Chief Executive Officer of the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District. I was honored to be asked to speak today because Hathaway Brown is a special place to me. My path, including my role as CEO, started in Shaker Heights. I grew up in Shaker Heights. I joined the Peace Corps in Samoa and came back to Shaker Heights. I married a guy from Oklahoma and brought him back to Shaker Heights. And we raised our son in Shaker Heights. I'm passionate about this community, about our environment, and learning from those who came before me. I'm passionate about helping others find their own path. As you know from your HB years, and as we've already heard this morning, Hathaway Brown's motto is "We learn not for school, but for life." Education is the reason that I'm here today, and I'd like to tell you why HB means so much to me. So I'm dyslexic. Dyslexia is a common learning disorder where folks have difficulty interpreting the sound components of language, and thus difficulty learning to read. People told my mother, Elizabeth Dreyfus, that I would never learn to read. And if you met my mother before she passed, you would know that she was not going to take that. When I was a small child, she was teaching history at a community college in upstate New York while my father was in a rock and roll band. Now that's a separate graduation speech. They moved back to Cleveland so that she could attend law school. My parents knew something was wrong because I was 6 years old and I had no relationship to books. They meant nothing to me. My mother sent me to a specialist who diagnosed my dyslexia and told her that I would never read. I remember that day and that test and that guy, and I remember my parents categorically rejected that diagnosis. They sent me to Ratner Day School, and it's there that I met Sally Brown, a teacher at Ratner and a national expert in learning disabilities. Sally worked with me on all range of tools to learn to read. From her, I learned the sounds of words and the connections between words. To this day, I love rhyme, and I'll sing along with any rap song that you throw at me, regardless of what I'm actually saying. And I see connections all over, between words, between people, between ideas. Because my mother refused to believe that my destiny was defined by dyslexia, and because Sally never gave up on me, I learned to read. My mother and Sally saved my life. When I mentioned earlier that, right? I mean, for the mothers and for the teachers. When I mentioned earlier that Hathaway Brown has a special place in my heart, it's because Sally Brown was an HB graduate and always spoke so highly of your school. Sally taught me how to work through challenges, and from this focus on the connections between ideas that I learned from her, I realized that opportunities to do great and exciting work exist everywhere. And for me, those opportunities brought me to the sewer district. February marked 5 years in this role. I have always been passionate about water and about the environment, but I am particularly passionate about making public systems work for the public and delivering high-quality public service in whatever area that may be. For me, it's regional wastewater and stormwater services at the sewer district, and our work is fascinating. We serve 62 communities. Our 750 employees protect water quality and public health in the Lake Erie watershed. With a $170 million annual operating budget and $270 million in annual construction, we deal with engineering, environmental science, hydrology, industrial technology, finance, public policy, legal issues, and deeply personal issues as folks are impacted by flooding, by erosion, and by water quality concerns. I joined the district in 2009, working on the effort to create the regional stormwater management program. And folks, as you go forward in the world, stormwater is one word. You're gonna see all sorts of fakakta arrangements for stormwater, but it's one word. It's not storm water, it's stormwater. Then Julius Chach was CEO of the sewer district, and he was and is also a great mentor to me. When Chach announced his retirement in 2016, I knew I couldn't let the opportunity pass to throw my hat into the ring to become the next CEO, and I'm so glad that I did. I'm the first woman chief executive officer at the sewer district, and over the past 5 years, I've seen a lot, and I've learned a lot, and I want to share some of those lessons with you. So let's talk first about leadership. Leadership is about trust and relationships, and it's earned over time through your work and how you show up every day. The wastewater and stormwater industry is male-dominated, as is the case for utility work broadly. Across the country, women account for only 20% of the public utility workforce. I had the opportunity to sit down with some of you earlier this spring, and we had a great conversation about a range of issues, but we talked specifically about gender roles. And anyone who knows me knows that I reject this female CEO stuff as if a woman in leadership is somehow a shocker. But we as a society tend to lump leadership traits into buckets, particularly based on stereotypical gender attributes. Softer skills like nurturing, working well with others, excellent communication, and emotional intelligence are typically attributed to women and are often discounted as signs of a weaker leader. They are all key components of executive function, but their delivery can be perceived very differently. Soft skills are not valued as much as personalities that push forward as if they can achieve success on their own. Men are assertive, but women are bossy. Men are direct, but women are bitchy. These are the subtle areas of sexism that I have experienced. Nothing like the sexism that women have had to experience for years, but they give me a hint of that removal of power, that knock from my equilibrium that gender stereotyping can do. My leadership style, like women leaders across sectors and good leaders everywhere, embraces these softer skills while keeping the train running on time. Because really that is the job of a chief executive officer, to set the stage for people to do their work, to stand up for them when necessary, and to make decisions so an organization can keep moving forward. Good leaders do this by relying on soft skills combined with being forthright, being direct and open to sharing opinions and listening to others, and also to be criticized, like on a daily basis, which is totally fine and is really quite a great learning experience. As leaders, We need to recognize that we don't get where we are without the help from others. Each and every one of you is here because of the thousands and thousands of women who paved the way for you, because of teachers and significant figures who mentored you, and family and friends who supported you. Sally Brown, my mother, and Julius Chach are just a few of the people who changed my life. I mentioned earlier that in my 5 years as CEO, I've seen a lot and I've learned a lot. What I did not anticipate, though, as Fran mentioned, was navigating my organization through a worldwide pandemic. And I bet you did not anticipate that your school experience would include a pandemic. You are the only students at HB who remember what Hathaway Brown was like pre-pandemic. You are remembering the best of past traditions like Carnival and shaping them for students who will follow in your footsteps. Recreating something that was missed for 2 entire years makes it even more special. Your leadership not only pays it back, but you've paid it forward to the next generation, and you should be really proud to be part of the Carnival tradition. You're also very fortunate to be part of a diverse campus experience. Across your entire campus, 42% of students self-identify as students of color. From University Heights to Hathaway Brown, Broadview Heights to Akron, 73 communities are represented. More than 30 languages other than English are spoken in your homes. But you will not find that same level of diversity everywhere, and you will need to actively search it out, whether it's in college, your career, or your personal life. Say yes, show up, and be open to difference and new ways of looking at things. And if you look around a room, whatever room you happen to be in as you go forward, and everyone looks like you, bring other people into that room. I want to end where I started, and that's with your fellow sister, Sally Brown. Last year, Sally passed away. I attended her funeral, but I did not have an opportunity to talk to Jocelyn, her daughter. And the fact that I could not do that and tell her how much her mother meant to me really hurt. So my husband, Kevin, the guy from Oklahoma, encouraged me to write Jocelyn an email, and I did, and we had a great conversation to follow up. So for my entire life, I remembered the impact that Sally Brown had on me. And it turns out Sally talked about me all the time. Jocelyn told me how proud her mom was of me. I thought she was the one who had a major impact on my life, but it turns out I unknowingly had an impact on her. Just like Sally Brown and my mother advocated for me throughout my childhood, and others advocated for me throughout my career, you need to, you will, and you have leave your impact on others. So I encourage you to explore, learn, find yourself, and I hope you choose to make your mark and make an impact in Northeast Ohio. Your generation is passionate about the environment, and here in Northeast Ohio, we need leaders like you. The public sector, our utilities, our region's services need your skills and your experience. I realized I wanted my life to run deep, and that's why I came back to Cleveland. Cleveland is my foundation. As you begin the next steps of your journey, take a piece of Northeast Ohio with you and bring your new whole life experience back home. You will make the world a better place, and the world will be better because of you. Our community will be better because of you, and you can be someone else's Sally Brown. Again, congratulations on this glorious day and this great achievement, and I cannot wait to see what you accomplish next. Thank you.
Thank you, Kyle. And now we will have senior remarks from Perrin Elise Romano.
Oh, it stays, yeah. There's a home video that my parents have of me on my first day at HB. I approached the doors on the Cortland side of the school wearing a navy blue jumper and a monogram backpack almost as big as me. Skipping through the parking lot, I turned back to my parents and exclaimed, "Look, Mom and Dad, it's my school." Just about a week ago, my dad sent out a blast email with said video to my kindergarten teachers, my mentor, Mrs. Ritzman, and Dr. Bissell, so we could all reminisce on my true glory days. Later that same day, I was standing along the edge of the fountain that I face right now, among a group of 19 of my peers as we posed for a picture. I guarantee that the photographer took about as many pictures as there were of us, but HB still managed to post the one where I wasn't ready. If I'm being honest, there probably wasn't a photo to be used where I wasn't folded over in laughter, cracking jokes about still being in the tall row for our pictures, and trying my best to balance on the uneven stone. With a group that had shared at least 260 years of memories combined, I felt incomprehensibly at home. The reason I recount the story of the unsuccessful, or at least for me, photo shoot at the Lifer breakfast last Tuesday is because before then, I was having trouble with this speech. I will say I am a heavy procrastinator, but in this instance, procrastination only made up for a mere 10% of my qualms. In fact, my struggle's foundation was in my inability to express what I've found HB has given to me. And then it struck me that I should instead be focusing on what this class has given to HB. 13 years is a long time to spend anywhere, and I could go on and offer insights as to why my individual experiences lead me to believe that each and every one of the 88 students sitting right there today could thank the institution before you. But I think it's important to recognize what we leave behind as our legacy, what we'll feel missing when we exit the halls next year. And I don't mean our Venmo donations for our senior gift. In fact, I mean something much bigger than any tangible object that we could have all chipped in for. For our real gift began with us even before 2009, and it rose with time. The vagueness of my pronoun choice, it, is deliberate, because I stand here trying my best to explain exactly what I feel makes our class so invaluable. I realize it's not easy. For what I'm trying to convey to all of you that have never spent a day with the class of 2022 is that beyond the cliche undertones of the phrases, "we are a family," or "we are a team," we truly embody the characteristics that make up those phrases. With an endless spirit, there is not just one of us that takes hold of a room upon entering it. Instead, we command the attention of the entire building together. With the ferocious curiosity, we do not sit still following our course requirements, but we challenge ourselves, pushing the limit and always succeeding, simultaneously challenging those around us to do the same. With steadfast dedication to one another, we pick up our teammates when they fall, we cheer on our classmates in their academic endeavors, and we collaborate with each other with a perpetual smile on our faces and contagious laughter ringing through the halls. To know the class in front of me is to be utterly amazed. We have been tossed into adversity time and time again, and I do not just mean the pandemic that kept us learning from behind a screen. In our time at HB, we have seen leadership changes not only in the ever-transitioning halls of our school, but within our country as well. We have fallen victim to snapping floorboards and cut-off hallways in the deepest days of construction, while simultaneously remaining forever indebted to the safety and security of our educational haven. In fact, just months before we made our departure into the depths of quarantine, we came together in this courtyard as a student body to stand for gun control, pleading to make our schools safe again. As a class, we have navigated tough conversations with our peers discussing the Black Lives Matter movement and performative activism, all while logged into a Zoom screen, making connections and coming together even with yet another obstacle in our way. And in the most recent events to shock the nation and our class, we have seen as something so significant to all of us, women's rights have begun to be chipped away at. As I stated before, for our class of 88 powerful adolescents, we are entering a world of adulthood filled with adversity, but I am far from worried. That is because our class has never been one to back down from a fight. I know this because I once was sent home for fighting with a member of the class of 2021 for stealing the giant snowball I had made in recess the day before. I know this because our class rallied together after being told we can no longer play the baby game, our favorite second grade pastime. I know this because we found a way to still go whale watching in Cape Cod in 7th grade despite the looming storms. I know this because we consistently wore skirts that were out of uniform in 8th grade until the teachers gave up on awarding us yellow flags, similar to our fight with the dress code this year. I know this because members of our mighty class have been 4-time state champions on the tennis team, have won events in state swimming meets, have run in national competitions, have taken soccer and volleyball teams farther than they have gone in years, have returned the lacrosse team to their rightful place at the state Final Four, and have beaten Laurel in almost every meeting since we were freshmen. I know this because seniors of the class of 2022 have played for our award-winning orchestra, written their own musicals, won Dazzle Awards, performed live at Bob Stop, been showcased in the Ohio Governor's Art Show, completed Stronad projects, won scholastic national medals, been named National Merit Finalists, been inducted into the Cum Laude Society, and have raised thousands of dollars for organizations across Cleveland. I know this because hot dogs lined the halls on April 28th, and the atrium chairs were wrapped in cellophane. One could argue that we could have only achieved this greatness that I described for you all today through the ever-flowing opportunities given to us by the esteemed academics, alumni, and faculty we are privileged to receive as Blazers. And while I can go on and on about our achievements, I truly believe our greatest of all was returning the Blazer spirit to HB this year, a goal each and every one of us have shared since the spring of 2020. It feels like just months ago that I was lying with my head against my backpack on the sophomore balcony as I received an email during X period that I would no longer be attending my spring break trip to IMG Academy with the lacrosse team. It was just hours later that I received news that I would not be returning to school the next week either. We all have stories similar to this one, and for that I believe the devastation we all felt fueled our attitude upon our return to HB. I will never deny the fact that we have been supported since the beginning, but it takes a special group of people to harness the type of energy that reinvigorates an entire school whose hallways had not heard the echo of footsteps in nearly 2 years. But that's what we did. And on top of that, we emerged stomping through the double doors. With grace, we showed each other and our peers what we had spent so long craving, renewing hope through violent cheers, cutting in the lunch line, and warm embraces. We showed the rest of the upper school what a real HB high school experience entailed, bringing back homecoming, carnival, student sections, packed auditoriums, spirit weeks, and a senior prank that will be remembered for ages. We may not have followed every rule, but we came out on the other end more bonded than we had ever been. Our class led by example, together, and that's what it is, what we have given to this place. What links us all is a rebellious spirit and an unwavering dedication to each other. We have shown those under us and those who have long since walked the same path that we have today that an HB girl does not have a definition. We follow no trails already blazed before us, and we fervently deny what is set forth ahead of us unless we have decided upon it ourselves. I know this is what we have given to Hathaway Brown, as I myself have been inexplicably inspired by my classmates, my role models, those who have taught me to believe and those who have taught me to object. Object to what I am told to subscribe to and object to what I am supposed to be. And I know more than anything that if this group of 87 can teach me what I can only attempt to tell you all today, then as a class we have done all right. We have done what we were supposed to, teaching our sisters below us how to grasp what we are given as Blazers, taking what we learn and questioning it with every doubtful bone in our bodies, leaning on the idea that with each other we can figure it out. At the end of our celebrated installment as the Hathaway Brown class of 2022, I can say that what we have given HB is another set of learners dedicated to what we know and what we are yet to know, what we believe and what we are yet to truly believe. We have given ourselves completely to the hunger that fuels knowledge and emerged on the other side as students of the world, prepared to keep fighting for our right to learn, for our right to be ourselves, and for each other. 13 years later, my backpack fits me better now, and I no longer need to be dropped off at the Cortland entrance. But I can finally say, look, Mom and Dad, this was my school, and these are my sisters.
Thank you, senior singers. And now the awards. The Alumni Scholar Prize, established in 1910, is the oldest honor to be bestowed continuously by Hathaway Brown School. It is awarded to the member of the senior class having the highest academic average during her upper school career. On behalf of the Alumni Association, this award is presented to Avery Simon. The Honor Girl is the highest honor bestowed by Hathaway Brown School. It is presented annually to the graduating senior who, in the judgment of the upper school faculty and the upper school students, most closely approximates the Hathaway Brown ideal of character. With great pleasure, we present this year's Honor Girl Award to Desi Neal. And now I ask Hallie Ritzman, Director of the Upper School, to come to the podium for distributing the diplomas.
It is my distinct pleasure to read the names of our class of 2022. Last row, will you please stand? L. Lynette Speed. Coral Roman Moore Frontini. Allison Adela Gibbs. Camille Grace Fielding. Snigdha Reddy Singareddy. Morgan Mary Kennedy. Katrina Elizabeth Santelli. Brooke Isabella Bordenero. Olivia Grace Lacani Boyer. Bennett Lorraine Kitchens. Sarveen Katami. Abigail Claire Morgan. Anna Killian Banyard. Lillian Mary Botros. Brooklyn Rose Napolitano. Perrin Elise Romano. Jasmine Halawa. Caroline Ann Petrick. Lindsay Shan Justling. Molly Grace Eris. Lucia Broker Passarelli. Margaret Blair Abrams. Anna Sharkanov. Lillian Ainsley Patterson. Margaret Ann Lux. Olivia Christine Moore. Anaria Amani Britt. Celia Catherine Kilbane Bullock. Aya Jude Armanazi. Loa Schriefer. Juliana Megan Reinex. Dakota Rain Tafiq. Claire Lee Hofstra. Suzanne Agnes Schwabel. Claudia Elizabeth Binder. Taylor Christina Chavette. Shira Carolina Rosenberg. Teresa Marie Hayes. Tatum Justine Schoaf. Lane Frances Gray. Ria Mahajan. Kathleen Yiwei Guo. Maya Kimberly Vogel. Yumi Diana Nglovu. Elizabeth Noel Troyer. Ayushi Chakse. Caitlin Mary Elizabeth Greppin. Avery Rose Simon. Renee Ranjan Padapali. Allison Faith Schmidt. Saki Kaur Kang. Charlotte Jane Wasserman. Morgan Adelie Monosmith. Riley Elizabeth Mixon. Sydney Taylor White. Allison Amy Fritz. Camilla Miraldi Court. Adriana Grace Imka. Taylor Sky Tofik. Helen Mary Breen. Anjali Danekula. Madeline Grace Groof. Karis Bowen. Shrutika Araselvan. Evelyn Joy Birdsall. Madeline Malloy Anderson. Audrey Rose Curley. Maxine Mathilde Husney. Alexandra Erica Wolf. Kaylee Inez Takaoka. Marley Patricia Lammers. Gianna Anthony Garofoli. Grace Margaret Mansour. Radhika Dutta. Madeline Claire Williams. Naomi Flynn Kaplan. Kaya Annabella Mendels. Tatum Marie Shepherdson. Shireen Ahmad. Martina Ausejo. Percival Neville Okoven. Kayla Samantha Morris. Desiree Michelle Pearl Neal. Christina Isabel Martinez. Sabratha Araselvan. Somerset Alexandra Colligan. Maya Naomi Thornton. Olivia Rose Anesco. It is my distinct pleasure to be the first to congratulate the newly graduated class of 2022.
We now have an HB tradition, the Alumni Charge, that will be given by Simone Billings, class of 2009.
Good afternoon. Okay. There we go. If you are an HB alumna joining us today, please stand at this time and remain standing as I deliver the following alumni charge to the members of the graduating class. To the class of 2022, on this day, as you enter the world with wings sculpted by years of sisterhood, service, spirit, and scholarship, we charge you to spread those wings over distances you have never imagined. We charge you to fly farther, higher, faster than you dreamed you possibly could. Because the world needs you and your wings are strong. But on this flight, we charge you to remember Hathaway Brown. Remember your sisters, for this sisterhood does not end when you graduate. Remember your spirit, for it may be broken more than once, but you have a sea of others willing to help you put it all back together. Remember that you are a scholar, and it is your duty to learn and to lead. Finally, remember to serve. An HB student comes to HB to learn. An HB alum comes to HB to give back. This is a call to action. Your Hathaway Brown journey has not ended, but it is now extended beyond the school walls. Congratulations and welcome, class of 2022, to the Hathaway Brown School National Alumni Council.
We will now sing the Hathaway Brown Alma Mater. The final tradition is a clap out where the faculty and staff will line the walkway and clap the seniors out, now the graduates out. And we ask if you would like to join us in the Rosenthal Atrium for cookies and lemonade following this event.